Well, folks, we're back talking to Randy again. I know that our just sitting around talking won't be enough for you. You want to see his rig, and we've got this fount of information about being a nomad. And I don't want to waste that. So, Randy, you've been on the road for 40 years, about now.
Yep.
And you've lived in one or two different kind of rigs, I assume, in that amount of time.
Yes.
And so, one of the big questions all of our audience faces when they're just starting out is, what kind of rig would work for me? And so tell us about maybe some of the rigs you've lived in and the pros and cons. What did you start out in?
I think first I bought a state bookmobile from the state of Louisiana, and I engineered it for cozy living. A gigantic thing, that was my first effort.
So that would have been like a step van?
Yeah, and the sides would open up like so, where the books and everything were. And I engineered it but it was too big, too clumsy, and it wasn't really convenient. And then I went down to a VW Bug.
A VW Bug?
Yeah. And I discovered that you can sleep in a VW Bug, especially if you'll take out one of the seats and platform it in. You got 6 feet there, and I did that, but not very long. And then I hadn't really hit the road full time then, but I had each summer off, and I would go on a BMW motorcycle, and I did that for 5 years. I did my traveling on a BMW motorcycle.
How much of the year would you go for? The whole year?
I'd go for the whole summer. Usually I'd leave in June, come back in October sometime.
And you tent camp at campgrounds and things like that?
No, rarely at campgrounds. I would travel until I got tired, and then I would find a spot. I've got pretty good at bushes and things. I'd just camp there. And
set up a tent?
Uh-huh.
Tent, sleeping bag, and you were tent camping.
Right. I did it all over Mexico too. I would just travel along, and I would find a bushy spot and settle myself in. If you ever go and hang out in cities very much and you see a patch of bushes, go over there and you will almost inevitably find a campsite where somebody's camping.
Wow, that's I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, what did you live in full time for the first time?
A van. I bought a little tiny Falcon van, and it was the love of my life. Oh, I wish I had it back now. It was so. I engineered it to be cozy also, and a nice little potty in it, and cooking facilities and all that. And I had that for years, and I traveled all over, I'm persuaded now that a van is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Yeah. Of all the factors, comfort, gas mileage, ease of driving, stealth in cities, I think the van does everything the best. No, it doesn't do anything great, but it does it all well.
That's my thinking too. Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. So
plus original cost.
Right. Yeah, you can pick up a good used van usually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And they're maintained. It's easy to maintain generally, kind of. Okay. And how long were you in your van?
I did that for about 5 years, I think.
And then you switched to something else?
Yeah. Then I bought an actual RV. I bought one of those Winnebago Lachero things.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And. It's listed as the absolute worst lemon ever manufactured. I mean, that's quite a distinction.
Yeah.
But I lived in that for 5 years, and oddly enough, got good service out of it.
Wow.
It was a little front-wheel drive thing. It was an RV that got 20 miles per gallon, which is no small thing. It was 22 feet long, and I was pretty cozy in it. And I just got tired of it, I guess. I don't know why. Then
Well, why did you go from did you want the more comfort? Is that why you changed into an actual RV?
Yeah, I think it was vanity, because it had class and it had style, and the ladies might like it better, I thought. And so...
was that true?
Yes, it was.
Well, it was.
As a matter of fact, it was a little classier.
So when you kind of, there was a little bit of stigma to the van?
Well, I just, yeah, you know, no, I guess so. It was a movement up, and my head wasn't in the right place then. I guess at least now I know better. You know, I know that what people think of as high class or as status and all that doesn't interest me at all anymore. I finally matured.
Right.
I bet you have too.
Well, I think as younger people are much more concerned with their peer pressure.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old you were then, but you probably were just more impacted by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that as I gotten older, peer pressure means almost nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you weren't. It wasn't the comfort or the room. It was kind of, you just felt.
I wanted
status.
a bump in status. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible mistake. You know, glunky vehicle, and it was impossible to repair it and all that. But it was all right.
And how long were you in it?
I was in it for 5 years.
Wow. So you stuck it out.
You toughed it out. Yeah.
And then what did you do after that?
Then I found a little Ranger thing by Mitsubishi, a little tiny diesel engine powered thingy with a pop-up, and
a little pickup.
It actually was engineered as a camper, and the camper was called a Ranger. Not bad, you know. It had most of the components of good stuff in there, except it was a pain in the ass to pop it up, and so I finally popped it up permanently and engineered it a little bit, and I used it for 4 years, zipping around. The good news was it got 27 miles per gallon.
That's phenomenal.
Which is really great.
Something you can live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I felt the stigma. I was traveling around with the Winds, the Wandering Individual Network, and and it was such a humble rig. I decided. Maybe I can do better.
You're human after all.
I'm human after all.
And peer pressure kind of impacts you.
Yeah.
Sure. And so after that you did?
Then I got it in my head that I wanted to be invisible. And so I kept seeing these trailers, especially the Featherlight trailers with the V nose on the front of them. And I thought, boy, I would enjoy the challenge of engineering a little cozy home in there. And so one day I just made the commitment and bought a brand new Featherlight cargo trailer and engineered it. And it's still on the web. Almost about 20 people a day I can see on the computer. About 20 people a day still pop up to the stealth trailer, and there I am in that little. You can see how it's engineered.
Well, you contacted me on my website and said, "Hey, I have this trailer, and I saw what you've done, and I thought, wow, that is really brilliant." And we posted an article.
Is that how you came to live in a trailer, really?
It really is. I believe you created what is now a pretty common thing. I believe you're the granddaddy of that.
How about that?
You don't remember anyone doing it before you?
No, I guess I don't.
No. Yeah, and now it's really pretty common. People living in cargo trailers and converting them.
It was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a completely new idea to me. When you wrote me that time, that was the first time we got to know each other, said, "Hey, I'm doing this interesting thing. Would you be interested in an article?" And I said, "Yeah."
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some years ago, wasn't it?
It was. It was good 5 more years ago.
Yeah.
No, that was, I think you created a whole new genre of mobile living there.
Yeah. Pretty good.
So, okay, and you were in that for another 5 years, probably?
Yep.
5 years. You got to think about 5 years, don't you?
I guess I do, yeah.
Some people have itchy feet. You got an itchy butt.
I suppose so, yeah.
You sat in a rig for 5 years, and your butt just says, "This doesn't fit anymore," and away you go. Kind of like that? All right. I'll accept that. And so, what did you do after that?
Then I bought this thing. I was bringing a lady home one night, and when she saw my facilities as a cargo trailer, she was a little shocked at it, and I felt shame. I felt shame, and then the very next day I went out and bought this thing, and I wish I hadn't. I was happier in the cargo trailer.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
so tell us about this thing. So we're at present day now, right now where you're living, and tell us a little bit about the trailer you're in.
Well, it's pretty good as trailers go. I was recommended by a lady friend of mine who really studies these things, and this, for the money, this is the best deal, said she. And it's got everything you need, and it's pullable with a smaller vehicle. And so there it is, a trail cruiser. It's a 22-foot thing, and first thing I did, however, the first day I bought it, I took the air conditioner off and sold it. I know that in my style of camping, I don't need an air conditioner. Instead, I use that hole to put a fantastic vent in.
Sure.
A fantastic vent is something like 100 times more useful than an air conditioner.
Right. And so it's an ultralight.
Pretty light, 3,500 pounds.
Oh, that's very light for a travel trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 1,000 pounds of stuff in it. It's 45, which is still under. This thing will pull 5,000 pounds.
Okay, and so do you use all the facilities? You use the shower and you do the dumping and the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm conventional in that sense nowadays, and so I guess I got the respectability. I'm far from being up here, but I'm above the line. Just
barely.
The line of respectability.
You're not one of those people in a van.
No, and I'm sort of uncomfortable about it. Where my heart really is in a van, like that.
Yeah.
I think that when I've been in this for 5 years, I think I will move
that
into
butt
a
itch
van.
again.
Yeah, and then I'll be too old to care about the ladies anyway, maybe.
Right. Well, tell us about your rig. I'm surprised the vehicle you're towing the trailer with, your tow vehicle. You have a Chevy S10.
Yeah, it's a GMC.
GMC.
Sonoma. It's a 6-cylinder. It does its work, and I've had it for 12 years now.
Wow. And so you towed the Stealth trailer and now this.
With the same
vehicle.
truck.
And what kind of fuel mileage did you get with it?
12 pulling and 17 when I'm not.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad for a full. You got a lot of comfort for that kind of gas mileage.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad deal.
Well, now we're going to go in and take a look. We're going to show everyone at home the rig, but as you look back you've tried a lot of different things. A VW Bug. I mean, not many people have tried to live in a VW Bug.
Yeah.
The BMW motorcycle, the Stealth trailer, the Charo,
the State Bookmobile.
Yeah. So people are out there thinking, well, man, that's interesting. You've done all that. Well, do you have any advice? You look back over it and say, this is what I would be glad I liked most and didn't like.
Well, my advice would be to get in cheap and see if camping is your thing. And if it is, then you'll find the level of comfort. It surprises me that people do really well with minivans. I mean, if I were starting out again, I would do it in a minivan.
I agree. I think I agree.
Well,
we're going to go ahead inside, folks. We got some rain going, and we'll meet you inside. It's raining, so we had to kind of rush right in and get dry. So show us around your rig here.
Okie dokie. This is a trail cruiser. It's 22 feet long, and it's 8 feet wide, and it's pretty cozy. I've added all sorts of things. The first thing I did was throw out the table that came with it and put this one in.
That's a large table.
I like a big table, and it has the advantage of it'll move out of your way, so I can go do what I have to do up there, or it'll move the other way. And
it becomes much more useful than the little ones that come with these.
Yes, but more importantly, I have room underneath the table to put my feet.
Right.
And there was a lot of foo-foo for the windows, and I decided to put that there. Mm-hmm. And it's an experiment, and I think I'm liking it well enough to put it on the other window too. So I'll do that, and then I've engineered this so that I can, somehow I like wood. I put in a little catalytic heater here, Even though it has a heater of its own, the catalytic is really much more efficient. It doesn't burn up a lot of electricity.
Looks like a Coleman Wave 3.
It is indeed.
I'm a huge fan of, not a Coleman, Olympian Wave 3.
I guess people know what they look like. This thing cost $150 or so, something like that, I think.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. And as I sit outside, first thing I did was take the air conditioner off, because I never have an occasion to use an air conditioner, and instead I put the fantastic vent. These are terrific pieces of equipment. They I don't know how people live without them, and sometimes it gets stuck, but what the hell.
And you got a pretty good sized kitchen here. This is, I would say, a pretty large kitchen.
Yeah, and I've added this little piece here because so I can have a little working room, and that's one of the best things I've done. It's really useful. And it has an oven and so forth. And let's see.
Microwave, you don't have a generator?
No, I don't, and so I use this for storage. It takes 1,500 watts to run that thing, and that's a little more than I got. I got a 1,000 watt inverter.
But you do have solar.
I do, and it's a comforting thing just to see at a glance that you got plenty of power. I could watch TV all night if I wanted to, or I could work on my computer or whatever.
And how many watts do you have?
1,000.
You have 1,000 watts of solar?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have 360 watts.
Which is...
and I have 2 batteries. And I engineered this bed so that I can get at what's under there. The inverter is here, and I can stick a finger through that hole and turn my inverter on.
Oh, that's nice.
And I keep lots and lots of food. One of my weird things is that I carry emergency food supplies. I heard you talk about that one time.
I do, yeah.
And so I have 20 pounds of rice over there.
Sure.
If the world turns sour, I have plenty of food. And I keep lots and lots of food in those things too. And there's a nice refrigerator, works pretty good.
Propane, so you must... Freeway, you run on propane.
But I'll tell you, it costs $1 a day to run that thing for propane. And I'm a big believer in these compressor-driven things. Don't you have one?
I do. I have 2.
And that's my next move. If this thing ever dies, I'm going to get one of those like you have.
It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, because I'd save $1 a day. They pay for itself in a year and a half.
Right. Yeah, that's something I never even thought about that. But you're right. People I know that have them spend $1 a day, about $30 a month.
This is my bathroom. It's pretty good. I've decided, this is my shower, and it takes me 37 seconds to take these clothes out, put them on the bed, and to take these 2 containers out, and then I'm all set to take a shower.
And it's a wet bath.
Yes, it is. It's important whenever people have a shower to put one of these things on it. It means that you can instantly turn it on and off rather than trying to manipulate the knobs.
You save a lot of water.
You save a lot of water, for sure. But most of my friends have all done this. It's funny that the manufacturers have not figured this out yet. And it's big enough. I mean, it's really quite cozy.
Yeah. Some of them are so tiny, you can't hardly move your elbows.
Yeah.
But you've got plenty of elbow room.
Yeah. And my bed, they never have a decent mattress, so I bought a piece of foam and put it there, and it's pretty good. It's cozy enough. And I have discovered that I like, whenever you get shades for a window like that, pay the price and get the light darkening kind. Because whenever you want darkness, you really want darkness. And that's what those are, extra darkness. And I guess that's about the size of it.
But, I like the way that this central open area works. I mean, you have a really open feel. For as much as you have in here, it feels very open. It doesn't feel crowded.
Right, it doesn't. Sometimes I feel like I got too much space. I mean, I can live a perfectly happy life in a van like yours. But you know, as long as you got it, you got it. And two people could live in this.
Very comfortable.
And maybe one of these days I'll find the right lady and move her right in.
Right. You never know. You can always hope.
Yeah.
So, Randy, do you have any last words for our audience that kind of summarize your 40 years of living the life of a nomad?
Yeah, I guess in a 1-minute message, here's my message. This is the good life. If people think there's anything remarkable about me, you know, my poetry or my book or whatever, you know, this life did it to me. Somehow or another, if people can get free of drudgery, they will discover what really fascinates them. I'm convinced that everybody in the world has a set of fascinations. Some things fascinate you, some things don't. And if you can discover what fascinates you, then you can focus your creativity on that. So, and then you have something to share. So in short, what I think everybody in the world should do is discover their fascinations, wake up their creativity, and then share themselves like you share with your blog and your other stuff. So what I know for sure is that this can be done very, very cheaply. I mean, I've not had a job in 40 years. So, and I live very lean. I spend maybe $500-600 a month. I can afford that. And freedom is just so wonderful. I think I'm healthy because I'm free. The stresses that people put themselves through to have a job, it's just, it makes me sad for people. I'm convinced that there are millions of people who already could be free. They can do this. And that houses and apartments are traps that we fall into. You know, that's your gospel too. You've said it many times. Yeah. So I'm on board the train with you there. So I guess that's my message. And furthermore, there's people out here, really fine people out here, to come on out here and do this with us. I'm surrounded by 6 people here now that are just the finest people you could ever imagine. And it's a joy to be in the camp with them. And I'm looking forward to your encampment this summer.
Right. We'll have another Rubber Tramp rendezvous, just not very far from here.
Great.
Yep.
Great. And here we are, and always following right where the springtime is. Here we are. We're right where we want to be.
Right.
Yeah, today's not the best example of it, but but this is a good place to be.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Randy. I really appreciate your telling us your story. I think you've inspired a lot of people. And you mentioned your book. So tell us a little. You got a copy of your book right there?
Yeah, I do, yes.
Well, how about that?
I just happened to have on it. It's called 40 Years a Nomad. And it's on it's on Amazon, and it's on Blurb, and it cost $6 plus shipping. And on the back is a picture of me, and it's 100 of my best poems. You know, you'd be surprised what you would produce, what you would do if you had the time to do it. Right. People tremendously underestimate their own creativity. They really do. And they say, I can't. Whereas if they would just stop saying that and have some free time, they find out they can. Absolutely, and do it in small bites. You know, I'm hoping someday a book of your essays will come out. You've got great essays on the various subjects that you've picked out. Well, thank you. Okay, well, thank you so much, Randy, and I appreciate your showing us your rig and sharing your life with us. Well, you're very welcome. Come over here and camp with us. You know, you're welcome. We'll do it. All right. Okay, folks, so we'll talk to you next time. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like us on YouTube. Talk to you later.